good morning, we're the Highwaymen. My name's Jason.
Good morning, everybody. And as far as I can remember, my name is Steve as well. And it's good to see you. What are we going to be doing? Jay, this is very, very important stuff we're talking about today, isn't it, mate?
It is. Well, we're talking today about consensual non-monogamy, and in particular, the Channel 4 program Open House. And for those that consensual non-monogamy is basically swinging. You know, you're in a committed relationship, but you go outside of the relationship for extra activities, shall we say. Now, there was a program.
I'm glad you explained it.
Yeah, we discussed talking about this last week, and there's a program that I advised Steve that he needed to watch before this week, and he's got not a clue. He's not watched it because he's crap. Because after what he said last week, he is Andrew Ridgeley. He just shows up. So I'm going to tell you. So this program is basically it's like a retreat, and they get these couples to go to this kind of swingers retreat to try swinging for the first time. And obviously, when they come in, they've all got different kind of requests. So some of them want to do have an extra female in. Some of them want to do an extra couple in. Somebody want to bring an extra male in. Some want to do an orgy. Some want to explore their bisexual side and all this kind of stuff. So it's a big mixed bag.
Can I ask a question? Can I just drop a quick question in there?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that they go to this because they feel almost it's like a safe place to be. Do they pay to do this? Is it like an all-inclusive holiday or something?
Well, it's television, so I imagine that there's no charging involved. That's probably why people get involved in it. But the thing that shocks me the most about this program, you know, I think of people who try swinging and maybe been married 20 years and, you know, things get a bit stale maybe, and they just want to spice things up a little bit. But they've got a lot of these couples on it are like 20-year-olds. They're like 20 and 22, and they've been together 12 months, and they've suddenly decided to try swinging. And it's like, you're not even comfortable with each other, even within a year, are you? You know, I've never tried it. I've never wanted to try it. But I've got to think you've got to have a real level of security and trust to do this kind of thing. And they've got these people who've been together, been together a year, and all of a sudden they want to kind of open their relationships up. And they look so young, and they go into these therapists, and there's this crazy lady with red hair who looks like Ronald McDonald. And every time I see her, I just want to go and buy a hamburger. Because I actually think she's the devil. I think she's the devil.
I bet she's got 2 hamburgers in her pants.
Oh, she's ate a few, I can tell you that much. I saw this video the other day, and I actually think we got to this on it. It was recorded in 1965. Gone off topic a little bit. And it's a bloke saying, if I were the devil, I would make it that people stopped believing in marriage and didn't believe that marriage was any good. I'd make pornography readily available because, you know, that breaks down people's opinions of sex. I'd make horror films into entertainment, so people got used to the idea of violence. I'd make sure and it came listen, you know, the morals were down, so that prisons were full, and all these different things, and it almost felt like you know, we're heading towards this kind of like we're all headed for hell, basically. I mean, I'm not a religious person, but it really kind of struck a chord with me that what he was saying was everything that was kind of coming true. And I look at her, she's encouraging these married couples to sort of go outside of their marriage vows. And every time I see her with this flaming red hair, I look at her and I think, you're actually the devil. You're actually really encouraging this, like it's a really good thing. And I don't necessarily agree with it.
Yeah, well, do you know what? You're perhaps not a million miles away from it, if I'm honest with you. And staying on your theme there, I think you'll find that the Bible does talk about end of days, and basically people are going to be just like that, and encouraging everybody, so making it's okay to sort of come over to this side, if you like,
to the dark side. And we have covered that in a previous video, which I will put the link at the end of this video. But going back to the whole process, so these young people have not been together very long, kind of start experimenting, and the first 2 couples, I predicted the outcome before they'd even started. They started. I'm really good at sort of reading people and understanding sort of where their motivations are, if you like. And this first couple, they wanted a girl in, and of course, and again, a lot of these couples are actually driven by the women, believe it or not. You think it's normally the man that wants to kind of push it
Wow.
forward, but it's actually driven by the
Wow.
women. And the first couple was, again, young couple, wanted an extra girl in. She wanted to try to see if she was bisexual. And obviously he was up for it. He was really curious. And I predicted exactly what would happen. She was more interested in the girl than him. They were interested in each other. He ended up, couldn't get an erection, rolled over, and ended up going to sleep while they were all kind of sitting moaning in the background. And I said that would happen. Exactly what I said would happen. And the second couple, they'd both had affairs. They could see there was no trust there at all. You know, why the hell did they even get to put on the TV program, let alone that the so-called psychologists allow them to do it? I'm not a trained psychologist, and I could spot it. This weren't going to work. And so the first night, what they were supposed to do is he was going to go and mingle with the girls, and she was going to go and mingle with the boys, just to kind of see if they kind of got any spark or anything like that. And she was like, I mean, and then set rules, you know, we're not going to do anything tonight. We're just going to kind of mingle and just kind of, I think they were allowed to, were they allowed to kiss? I can't remember. Anyway, and well, she were well up for it. I mean, she'd have been, you know, she'd have done it that night. No, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, if she were my missus, I'd never let her out because she's just not trustworthy. She was like desperate to get rooted, basically.
Oh,
And
my God.
and I said, what happened? He's going to be so paranoid about what she's doing, he won't enjoy himself, and he'll end up going looking for her. And what actually happened, exactly what I said, he wasn't enjoying himself. He didn't go looking for her, but he went back to the room and waited for her, and then she came back, and she was, oh yeah, this is great, and all the rest of it. And he was like, oh well, I'm not sure. And then I can't remember whether they did it something the second night or not. I don't think they did. But anyway, that was the first couple. So yeah, read it. I read them spot on.
But that makes good telly. Do you know what you said? As you said earlier on, you know, I'm surprised they let it happen. Well, they probably knew exactly what was going to happen, and that's why they let it happen, because it's great telly. Because, you know, unfortunately, for the sad, hideous race of people that we love to see people fail, don't we?
We do. We like to see people in misery. We do. We like to see people in misery. And for the Americans that are watching this, and if you've seen any of our other videos when we talked about Fatal Attraction, our television is very, very, very liberal. You know, you can almost put anything on television, and it's, you know, we see talk about Naked Attraction. It's our #1 video, and it's very, very, very open to what you can put on television. So, and they also see what they also do is when there's the bedroom scenes, they'll show it. So they'll show. Obviously, they don't show everything. It's not like a full-on porn.
You don't see penetration, do you?
No, but it's probably like a bit of a sort of soft core porn that you might see. So you kind of see anything. But one of the ones that really struck me is, and there's this couple. It was the last one that was on there. Do you remember Benidorm? Do you ever watch Benidorm?
Yeah, yeah. The little lad, sex
little
rolls
lad,
and sausage rolls.
The lad with the little, like the strawberry blonde hair. I can't remember what his name was. Liam. Was it Liam? Liam. He had like strawberry blonde hair. He was a bit of a soft lad. It was a bit of a sort of soft lad. A little bit kind of edging towards camp, I would say.
Yeah,
was he supposed
definitely.
To be? He wasn't gay, but he kind of had that kind of thing about him, didn't he?
Well, if you remember, he was the assistant to the hairdressers, Blow and Go.
Blow and Go.
And so the main character, I mean, they were both gay. Yeah, well, he had a couple of partners actually, and he used to wear some brilliant t-shirts. And I always remember one of them was sex, drugs, and sausage rolls, because he was a rather large chap. But yeah, so yes, he was a bit camp.
So this lad he reminded me of Liam. He was kind of like quite a sweet boy, if you like. That's the only way I can describe him. And he's got this Indian girl. I think she was Indian or half Indian, very pretty girl. And he was all like, you know, I can't remember her name, but I do anything for her. You know, I just go out to work as hard as I can, so I give her everything she wants. She's my world. She's this. She's that. Anyway. She decides she's bi-curious. And she wants to experiment with girls, which is most blokes' absolute fantasy. If you misses to come home and say that, you know. Yeah. And she kind of sort of said to the camera when she was on her own, you know, I've got a really high sex drive, and you know, my ideal would be to have a relationship with, we'll call him Liam. That wasn't his name. We'll call him Liam. Have a relationship with Liam, and be able to have a girlfriend that I can go out with and have a bit of fun with when I want to, and all the rest of it. So she kind of basically wanted a cake and eating it. So anyway, but the thing is, he said, no, I'm not gonna join in. I just like to be friends with her girlfriend or whatever, and that was what he was going to do. So Anyway, so
Okay.
they go out. So she goes out the first night. He goes down with her. There's all these girls, wait, all these real pretty girls, and again, they have like the young singletons, and there's a few like young couples. They're all gorgeous and young as well, and
Of course, straight off Love Island.
yeah, pretty much. And anyway, so and then she goes off in the hot tub with these 4 girls getting fingered and all the rest of it, and kissing them all and all that kind of stuff. And he goes back to the room to read a book. It was the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? It's like you're at a swingers resort. Your missus wants to have a bit of fun with some girls. She's in the hot tub with 3 girls. You know, you could be in the middle of that, reading your book if you want to be. And he's off to the back to the room. But the saddest thing of it all, right? The saddest thing of it all, the next day, when they leave, well, actually it's 2 days later, when they leave, just about to get in the car, he gets down on one knee and asks her to marry him.
Oh, that's tragic. You're joking.
Yeah. I mean,
oh my God.
You've gone to the.
What did she say?
She said yes, but you've gone to a swinging resort. You know, you've just been fingered by 3 other women, and then your bloke thinks, well, this one's a keeper. I'm going to ask her to marry him. And he was just such a nice, gentle lad. Like he would get absolute. I mean, to be honest with you, she was quite a nice, gentle girl, if you like, but he would be absolutely rolled over by some people. Rolled over.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Now, look, I've got to tell you, now, as well, you know, I lived on an island not so very long ago.
Yeah.
So, so on this island, I was good friends with a couple that were exactly like that.
Oh, okay.
Exactly like that. So, and they were young. So the young lady had they were in a tight relationship. They had a house together and all the other bits and pieces. But she also had a girlfriend who would come over from mainland every 3 or 4 weeks and stay for the weekend.
Wow.
And and at that point, the bloke would go and sleep in another room. He had another room. He had his own room.
Wow.
Where he wasn't allowed in there. He wasn't allowed in there.
He's missing
out.
He
knew that this hugely. But I don't think it was through his choice that he wasn't allowed in there. It was she was quite dominant.
Oh, that was the rules.
So
some people like that, because there was another couple who she went off with other blokes, and she would video herself with other blokes and then send it to the husband. Yeah,
some blokes are into that though, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I've got to be honest.
Send it to the husband. I mean, you know, you're sitting there Friday night, sitting in bed reading your book, and all, as you do, and also you get a bit. You know, it's not the normal sort of stuff you see on Facebook when your missus goes out, is it?
No, they come home with their cream pies and whatever and bits and pieces.
Cream pies, that's it. Yeah, and they haven't been and they've not been to the bakery.
No, they've not. Sadly, no.
So tell me about this other program that you were watching that was based in Sleaford.
Right. Okay. So basically, I caught this on a program called Gogglebox. Now, Gogglebox is basically a TV, but it sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud. It's a TV program of us watching people watching telly. But it says these are guys who have become almost stars in their own. Well, they have become stars in their own right, to be truthful. And their sole talent is watching the telly. But you see them in their front room with their families and whatever, and they're just discussing what they're watching on the TV. And it's really quite hilarious, some of the stuff that they come up with. So anyhow, this was on. I don't choose to watch it, I've got to say, it just came on. And they were showing about these swinging lifestyles that everybody was watching. And unbelievably, up came my hometown, and it even showed the little plaque, "Welcome to Sleaford." And it cut to this young couple, and they were a young couple in their 20s, maybe very early 30s, but and basically they obviously lived together at the house, and whether they were married or not, can't remember, to be honest. But basically, they invited other couples into their house and had sex. Now, a woman came round to document this, and so she was there, and they didn't ask her to leave or anything else like that. She just literally sat in the front room recording it and peeking through the semi-open door as it all went on. And then when it had all finished, out they came, all full of smiles and everything else. Thought it was brilliant.
All
Said
full of
goodbye
something
to the
else as
people.
well, I bet.
Well, yeah, quite literally. Said goodbye to the people that came round. Thanks very much indeed. Off they went and made a cup of tea. And it was just like normal. It was normal. Now, funnily enough, we did another one of these, a little video,
Yeah.
not so long back, about the attitudes of being gay, being a lesbian, being whatever, bisexual, or being a penguin, or whatever it is, and how this next generation that's coming up are very much almost encouraged to sort of go that way. And so I wonder if this is like a byproduct of that. So people's attitudes towards it. I mean, I know you are horrified, and I know you are about these young people. Why would they jump straight into that when you quite rightly point out that they've not been together for 12 months?
No.
But could it be because the whole attitude now is it's fine to do that? It's absolutely fine. If that's what you want to go and do, you go and do it. I just wonder.
I think the problem is now is whereas when we were younger, people were more judgmental, and almost in these days and age, you're not allowed to be judgmental. Because
that could well be.
I actually had a bit of a Facebook argument. It wasn't even an argument, because I always try and put my opinion over and try and be very respectful. There was an article about Eddie Izzard being so now he's a woman. He's called himself Susan. He identifies as a woman. Now, and I remember when I first saw Eddie Izzard, I didn't even know who he was. I remember seeing him on an interview with Jonathan Ross, and they were talked about the transvestite comedian. That's how he labelled himself, as a transvestite. He said, "So I'm a transvestite comedian," and he said, "And what?" He said, "Well," and Jonathan Ross was asking about it, and what he said was, "Well, sometimes I wake up in the morning, I want to put a suit and tie on, and sometimes I wake up in the morning, I want to put stiletto heels and a leather miniskirt on. Just depends on how I feel on the day." And I couldn't kind of argue with the logic of that, because we live in, clothes are basically gendered because of culture and fashion, nothing actually to do with gender. And so actually, I kind of thought, well, that actually makes sense, because we all wear what we want to wear. Just the fact that I want to wear bloke clothes every day, and if he wants to go between, and that was absolutely fine. And what I said was, it seems a shame now that rather than being a free thinker and just doing, he's become part of this culture where he has to suddenly label himself. And that was the comment that I made. Well, the abuse that I got for being homophobic, you're this, you're that, from all these sort of left-wing people. And there's one bloke, he actually messaged me a really horrible message privately, and then blocked me so I couldn't reply. But I was always kind of, I always try and be open-minded, and I always try and be respectful, and try and put my opinion across in a way. But it's almost like you can't have an opinion. And if you do have an opinion, they're allowed an opinion. But if you have an opinion that differs, rather than attack the logic that you've put forward, they attack you personally.
That's because they're so.
And this is what I had.
Narrow-minded.
But I actually deleted the original topic, and the reason I deleted the original topic is because I'm currently applying for jobs, and obviously one of the things they want is people are going to be very kind of respectful of this kind of new culture that we've got. And which I am, I appreciate everybody live and what live, but I actually deleted the project because the comment, because I thought if anybody goes through, sees the reaction to my comment, it's not what I said, because I do stand by what I said. And obviously I'm putting this now, I'm putting this on a public forum now for people to find and see. But it's how it's perceived by other people. And I'm thinking, will this affect my job prospects? Because I have an opinion that isn't just, yes, okay, that's fine, just go and do whatever you want, and we should all just agree, if you decide you're a penguin, we ought to agree that you're a penguin and just go along with it. And so now we do live in a culture where, unfortunately, if you don't go along with this kind of, be what you want to be, mentality,
new
then
liberal,
you're a problem.
open-minded.
Then you're a problem. Yeah, because you can lose your job
Yeah.
job over it and stuff like that. So, and
Yeah.
I think that's kind of sad that we no longer
Yeah.
are. If we have an opinion that differs from the, I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, we're going off subject.
Well, now then,
Tell us about shopping with
earlier on.
upside down pineapples.
Well, I'm just about to tell you about this, Jay.
Go
I
on.
am just about to tell you because you accused me quite rightly. Let's just get it out there. Quite rightly of not doing as much research as I could have done. However, one of the things that I learned on the Gogglebox thing was that there are secret signs on these things to attract other swingers, and one of them is to have an upside down pineapple in your shopping basket. Well, so in the interest of research, I can tell you categorically it doesn't work. Half an hour.
It doesn't.
Jay,
I'm disappointed.
half an hour I was walking around Tesco's with an upside down pineapple. Not a thing. Now, admittedly, they'd run out of fresh pineapples and it was a tin of pineapple chunks, but it's not the point. They were in there, they were upside down. Not one person bloody even looked. So
I'm going to try that. I am going to go shopping and find an actual proper pineapple and walk with it upside down and see what happens. So you're going to have to hold your basket up really high so everyone can see, just to see. And pampas grass was the other one. Pineapple and pampas grass.
We're riddled with that. We've got both. Riddled with
we've got both.
Everywhere here.
In fact, thinking about it, my daughter, when she had a little wedding party recently, she had a pampas grass on everybody's table. God knows what people thought coming to the wedding.
Christ, I thought she looked familiar on that one I've just watched.
Yeah, Gogglebox. Incidentally, going back to Gogglebox, people always used to tell me that, and I was like, I could not understand what Gogglebox was all about, and I tried watching it and I couldn't. But then what happened was, I think it was on Facebook. I started to get, once you like a video, start to get these minute clips on it, and then you kind of, and once you see a minute of it, you kind of like, well, I want to see the rest now to find out the results. So I started watching it, and it is very entertaining. Very entertaining.
Yeah, it's because they're all different characters. There's some posh people. There's some not so.
My favourites are the brother and sister.
They are very funny.
I think they're twins. Are they twins?
He's hilarious.
They've just got this very dry British humour, and they're just so funny together. And the other ones I like is the
in the caravan.
The caravan, Lee, and I can't remember. Is it Maureen? They're like they're like best friends. He's like a gay fella, isn't it? And they are so funny together. They are the other two favourite. Yeah, they're favourite.
He's horrible to her. He's absolutely horrible.
Just funny. They are just so funny.
It really is funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you get the opportunity to have a look at it, just have a look at it. It is funny. And
if you are a Gogglebox fan, tell us who your favourites are. Tell me if you agree with what we think are the funniest.
Yes. Well, it must be working because there's also a celebrity Gogglebox.
Yes. Quite like that one as well. I like Giles Brandreth the best.
He's quite funny.
I used to find him very annoying as a kid. He was a child's TV presenter, and he was just very annoying because he was very posh, and he also had those crazy jumpers. Yeah, he was
too grown up.
Yeah, but now he's an adult. Now we're adults. His humour's very kind of funny, and I think he's good fun. He is good fun.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. I think Denise Van Olten's on there as well.
Yeah, well, she's good fun for different ways. It's for different reasons, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's easy on the eyes. Still easy on the eyes.
All the Kemps are on there, aren't they? Bloody,
and Ryland and his mother.
Oh, Ryland and his mum. Yeah.
She's very strange woman.
Right, aliens. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
they're in the category with Jay Leno. I tell you, mate, they're in there.
She's got a very kind of masculine way about her, hasn't she? She's quite manly.
She's got a very masculine jaw. That's what it is.
No, it's not just that. It's the way she talks as well, though. She swears a lot. She talks like a miner. She talks like a coal miner. She swears a lot. And the inappropriate things she says in front of Rylan, her son, and you kind of think, God, my God, if my mother said that, or I would never say that in front of my kids, or if my mother said that in front of me, I'd die. Just inappropriate. She's literally like she's just come out.
Linda is her name.
Is it? She's just come out of the coal mine. She smokes 60 fags a day. and drinks Newcastle brown ale.
Great fun. Good
fun.
to watch.
Good fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's a lovely lady. I don't want to slag her off because she's putting herself on television. But yeah, she just strikes me as she's quite manly. She just strikes me as being quite manly.
Yes, a butch lady. She's a butch.
I wouldn't say she's butch. I wouldn't say she's butch. She's just kind of got a bloke vibe to her. She's kind of got a blokey.
She's tall, I think. She's tall and she's
like a man's man. She's what you say is a man's man.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say she's butch. She's like a man's man.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's cool. We'd do that. Do you think she'd have a pineapple upside down in a trolley, Jay?
I think she might have a pineapple upside down somewhere else, but that's a whole different story. That's a different show.
It went in okay, got out getting it out.
Those cones are going to hurt. Anyway, I think we should leave that one there.
Oh, well, there we are. We do hope we've enlightened you a little bit.
Yes, and entertained.
Into the murky world of swinging. Yeah, it's a whole different one. And also, joking aside as well, there's loads of websites for it, loads.
Oh, you couldn't watch the TV program, but you managed to Google the swinging websites. Oh, I see.
I genuinely forgot about it. I genuinely did.
You had one bit of homework. One bit of homework. And I never give you homework. One bit of frigging homework, and you failed miserably. And then you have the audacity to phone me this morning and say, I'm ready half an hour early. Would you like to come on now? You could have spent that half an hour doing a bit of research. Not looking at swingers' websites.
Well, what can I say? What can I say other than I apologise?
Do you have any links you'd like to share with the audience for swingers' websites?
No, you go find your own way there. Find your own way.
Expert on it.
You'll be literally blown away with how many there is. And this is the thing.
Blown away. You will be blown away.
You get the little green tick to say it's safe. They've all got green ticks. So they've obviously all
wear a condom.
Okay.
Right, we're going to leave that one here. We'll leave that one here. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and what else do they need to do, Steve?
Well, we're not just going to press it today, Jay. We're actually going to go and...
Oh, my word. You steady on there. You steady on. Thanks for watching, and see you all next time.
Bless you all. See you later. Ta-ra.